Hello, everyone, and welcome to my CBS GH spoiler channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital Today full episode, Friday, 2/27/2026. Willow's 10-year sentence has the internet losing it. You will not believe what just happened in Port Charles. Grab your tissues, your jaw is about to hit the floor. Oh my God. If you thought General Hospital was going to ease us into the weekend with a quiet Friday episode, think again, because what just aired on your screen was nothing short of a nuclear detonation in the middle of Port Charles, and fans across the country are absolutely unraveling right now. We need to talk about Willow Tate Quartermain. We need to talk about that courtroom, and we need to talk about the 10 words that shattered every single person watching today's episode into a million pieces. 10 years. The defendant is remanded into custody immediately. Are you breathing? Because we're not. The buildup nobody saw coming. For weeks, General Hospital had been teasing that Willow's legal troubles were reaching a boiling point after the stunning revelation that she had been quietly funneling Quartermain estate funds into an underground network helping victims of human trafficking escape dangerous situations, a storyline that has been building with heartbreaking precision since last fall. Viewers knew a reckoning was coming, but nobody, and we mean nobody, expected it to look like this. Going into today's episode, the general consensus online was that Willow would get a suspended sentence, maybe community service, a slap on the wrist from a sympathetic judge who understood that her motivations were completely humanitarian. After all, this is Port Charles. People literally get away with murder here on a semi-regular basis. Instead, viewers got a gut punch that no amount of popcorn could have prepared them for. The episode opened with Willow standing at the defense table, hand clasped tightly in Michael's, looking composed but pale. Her attorney had delivered what many legal commentators on social media are calling a genuinely brilliant closing argument, one that laid out in emotional detail the dozens of lives Willow had helped save through her quiet, dangerous, unauthorized financial maneuvers. The DA, however, was not moved, and neither, it turned out, was Judge Aldrich. The courtroom scene that broke the internet. The scene itself was masterfully written and performed. Willow stood perfectly still as the judge read his ruling. The camera work was extraordinary, cutting between Willow's steady gaze, Michael's trembling lip, Carly pressing her mouth in the gallery, and Nina, yes, Nina, who was sitting 3 rows back with tears streaming silently down her face in an unexpected moment of raw humanity that has already become the most screen-grabbed image of the entire episode. When the judge said 10 years, the sound design team deserves every award in existence because the silence that followed felt like an entire lifetime. No dramatic music sting, no gasp track, just silence. And then the sound of Michael saying Willow's name in a broken whisper that will haunt daytime television fans for years to come. Willow turned to Michael. She touched his face with both hands. She said something to him that the microphone barely caught, something that sounded like, "I would do it again." And then the bailiffs were there, and she was gone. The episode cut to commercial, and half of America apparently sat in stunned silence, staring at their television screens. The internet explodes. Within minutes of the scene airing on the East Coast, social media transformed into a full-scale emergency. I have been watching General Hospital since 1987, and I have never screamed at my TV like that. 10 years for helping trafficking victims? The writers have officially lost their minds, and I mean that as the highest compliment, wrote one fan who has since been retweeted thousands of times. Willow Tate Quartermain is the most morally complex character this show has written in a decade, and they just put her in prison, and I am not okay, wrote another viewer. The hashtag Free Willow rocketed to the top of trending topics within the hour and hasn't left since. Fan edits of Willow's most powerful moments are flooding every platform. There are already petitions, actual petitions for a fictional character, and honestly, we respect it. Meanwhile, the discourse around Nina's reaction in the courtroom has launched its own separate firestorm. Viewers who have been following the complicated, painful evolution of Nina and Willow's relationship are pointing to that silent, streaked moment as potentially the most important thing Nina has done in years. She didn't say a word, and she said everything, one fan wrote. If this doesn't lead to Nina doing something enormous to help Willow, I will riot. Michael's response and why it changes everything. If Willow's sentencing was the earthquake, Michael's immediate aftermath scenes were the aftershocks that kept on coming. After Willow was taken away, Michael stood completely still in the emptied courtroom for a long, agonizing moment before something in him visibly broke open. What followed was one of the most compelling performances we have seen from this cast in recent memory. Michael's grief curdled before our eyes into something harder and colder and far more dangerous. He turned to his attorney and in a very quiet voice said something along the lines of, "The system failed her, so now they do this differently." What does that mean? Nobody knows yet, but the speculation is absolutely wild. Some fans are convinced that Michael is going to go full vigilante. Others think he's about to leverage every ounce of Quartermain power and ELQ resources to launch an appeal that dismantles the entire case from the ground up. A particularly passionate corner of the fandom is convinced that Michael is going to go after the DA personally, and that this is the beginning of a major political storyline that will carry GH through the rest of 2026. One very intriguing theory circulating online suggests that the 10-year sentence might not be what it appears, that there are already whispers of a deal being negotiated behind the scenes, one that would require Willow to do something extraordinarily dangerous in exchange for her freedom. Given that this is General Hospital, that theory is absolutely plausible, and we are here for every second of it. The moment everyone is rewinding. Amid all the chaos of the main storyline, eagle-eyed viewers caught something in the background of the courtroom that has sent the GH fan community into full detective mode. The screenshot quality is debatable, and the show has not confirmed anything, but the internet is absolutely convinced that a presumed dead character from Port Charles's past was sitting in that courtroom watching everything unfold. We are not going to name names here because we don't deal in unconfirmed speculation, but if you know, and your timeline is probably already on fire. What Friday's cliffhanger means for next week. General Hospital ended Friday's episode on a cliffhanger that is going to make the weekend feel approximately 100 years long. As Willow was being processed, the camera found her face, calm, determined, heartbreaking, and then cut to a mysterious phone call, a voice, unidentified, telling someone that the plan is already in motion and that Willow's sentence was the point, not the problem. What does that mean? Nobody knows yet, but is there a conspiracy that runs deeper than anyone in Port Charles currently understands? We have absolutely no idea, and that is the most exciting sentence we have typed all week. The verdict from the fans. In 30-plus years of General Hospital, the show has given us mob wars, serial killers, supernatural villains, and characters who have literally died and come back to life. But something about Willow's story, the quiet heroism, the impossible choice, the punishment that feels so viscerally unjust, has struck a chord with viewers that feels genuinely different. This is a story about a woman who did something wrong by the letter of the law and profoundly right by the measure of her conscience, and now she's paying a devastating price for it. In the current climate, that hits differently. Viewers aren't just emotionally invested, they're personally invested in a way that great soap opera storytelling makes possible when everything clicks perfectly into place. Today, everything clicked. Don't miss Monday's episode of General Hospital, because if today was the earthquake, next week is going to be the tsunami. Share this story with every GH fan you know because nobody should experience what's coming without emotional preparation. Port Charles will never be the same, and neither will we.